So you're looking to make a move to the Seattle area. Maybe you're moving over here to take a new job. Maybe you're looking to retire over here, or you're just looking to enjoy all that the Pacific Northwest has to offer. There's a lot of conflicting info online about what it's actually like to live here and what the lifestyle overall might be like for you. And maybe you're still trying to figure out where in the Seattle metropolitan area would be best for you to end up, or if a move to Seattle even makes sense for you. I'm hoping to clear some of that up for you here on this video. I've got 7 of the most common questions that people ask me that I address that really factor into that livability and can be a deciding factor on if the lifestyle you're looking for is gonna fit with what you're gonna get over here. As always, I'm Bryce Greenleaf, a local Seattle real estate broker, and I specialize in helping people relocate here to the Seattle area and or just buy or sell a home here in Seattle. So if that sounds like you, if you're somebody that's relocating over here, or you're already local and you're looking to buy or sell a home, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help. Let's jump right into this list of the 7 most common questions that people have when they're moving over here, things they're trying to figure out to decide if a move to the Seattle area makes sense for their lifestyle and what they're looking for. All right, question number 1 is just where should I live? Now, this is a difficult question to answer in this video for a broad audience, of course. It's gonna come down to specifically what you're looking for. The Seattle metropolitan area as a whole has over 75 different cities and towns within it. Seattle metropolitan is made up of 3 counties. That's King County right in the middle, Snohomish to the north, and Pierce County to the south. So there's a very large area of places that you can look that are considered Seattle Metro. There's over 4 million people here in the 3 counties. Now, there are a number of things, of course, that are going to factor into which specific areas might be best for you to look in. For example, if you have a job that you're commuting to and it's in Seattle or Bellevue, it's going to rule out over half of the metropolitan area, probably 2/3 of the metropolitan area. It may rule out for you based on those commute times. So you're going to be looking mostly in King County or South Snohomish County if you are somebody that's going to be commuting to a job. There's also going to be factors like home prices that come into play. The median home price in the Seattle metropolitan area as a whole right now is about $770,000. Now, again, that's between these 3 counties. You can be right in Seattle where it's about $950,000, or you can go on the east side, which is a very popular destination for people relocating over here. And these cities on average are right around 1.6 million for the median home prices. Now, these are going to be the best spots for those, like I said, that are looking to commute. Now, if you want to go a little bit further outside and get a little bit more bang for your buck, you can go to somewhere like South Snohomish County. This general area of cities, your median home prices are going to be somewhere between $850,000 and $1 million for the most part, $850,000 to 1.1, depending what city here that you're in. Or you can go even further north in northern Snohomish County, where your median home prices are going to be closer to $650,000 to $800,000. And again, that's pushing the limit of then being able to commute down to Seattle or Bellevue. But for those that work on the north side, or those that work remote, or only commute 2 or 3 days a week, this can often be a great option. You could go in the other direction and go to South King County, where your prices are going to be closer to $625 to about $850. And again, this could be somewhat commutable to Seattle or Bellevue, depending how deep into South King County you go. Or if you want to go even further down to Pierce County, your home prices are going to be closer to $500,000 to $600,000 on average, and can definitely provide some more affordable options in a location though that's not really commutable to Seattle or Bellevue. You'll also have to decide if you want an urban lifestyle in downtown Seattle or downtown Bellevue, if you want a suburban lifestyle, which there's a vast choice of options around here if you want to live that suburban lifestyle in a neighborhood, a nice neighborhood with an average sized lot and an average sized home, or if you want to live more of a semi-rural lifestyle where you want a little bit of acreage. Maybe that's 1 acre, maybe that's 10 or 15 acres, and you want a little bit more space and live in a, what I like to call semi-rural area that's still super convenient to all the things you may need, like shopping and doctors and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of options for that type of living as well across the 3 counties, and so you'll have to really figure out what lifestyle you're looking for, and that's a better question. Again, like I said, I do actively help relocation buyers when they're moving over here to the Seattle area really dig deep into what you're looking for and figure out some of the areas, some some of the cities that are gonna fit best with your lifestyle, and then go from there and explore which one could be your favorite. So if that sounds like you, feel free to book a call with me down at my link in the description, or simply contact me directly at my info down there. Would be happy to jump on a call with you and start to figure that out. All right, question number 2 is, should I buy new construction or should I buy resale? One thing that I often see when people are relocating over here is they often have a bias towards new construction, thinking newer is better. Now, of course, newer is often a lot simpler. You move into this brand new home, you don't have to do anything, everything's brand new. So for the most part, you don't have to worry about major upgrades or repairs. Again, that's not always the case. Sometimes the building quality isn't that great, and so you're still going to have some repairs that come up, often covered by warranty or by that builder. But in general, the new home buying process is often for people, gives them a little bit more peace of mind, and that's why they like to go that route. Now, what I will say, and what I do tell my clients all the time, is if you are focused solely on new construction, you're vastly limiting yourself. This area specifically is not like a lot of other areas around the country, like a Florida, like a Texas, and many of these other states where they have a lot of land in these sprawling new home communities. Especially if you're somebody that needs, again, to be in the center of Seattle Metro and commute to Seattle or Bellevue for work, your options for new construction homes is going to be pretty limited. You'll find a few more options as you get further to the outskirts, South King County, Pierce County, North Snohomish County. There'll be a few more options, but in general, you're really going to limit yourself if you're going to eliminate resales altogether. There's some great resale homes, even if they're only 3 to 5 to 10 years old. There's some very good options of quality homes. So I always urge people not to rule it out if you are super sensitive on that location. Currently in our MLS, there's just over 4,300 homes actively on the market as of today when I'm filming this video across these 3 counties. Of those over 4,300 homes, about 1,174 of them are new construction. So we're talking right around 25% of the homes on the market right now are new construction. So you can see you're limiting your options quite a bit if that's the route that you've decided to go. And again, I've had a number of clients that still decide to go this route, and we find them a great home, but you just have to weigh those options and figure out what's most important to you. And I always urge, don't necessarily rule out a resale home if all the other boxes are checked. Question number 3 I get all the time is, what is the transportation like here in Seattle Metropolitan? If you're living in urban downtown Seattle or even downtown Bellevue, you can be pretty reliant on public transportation. There's buses that go everywhere, of course. In downtown Seattle, you have the streetcar and some other options. There's a lot of bike lanes. So there is very friendly commuter options within the downtown urban areas. As you spread out into the metropolitan area as a whole and out into the suburbs, you're going to be very car dependent for the most part. Now, there are some exceptions. We do have our light rail system here in the Seattle area that is continuing to expand further and further. So this light rail currently goes as far north as Linwood along I-5 and goes down to Angle Lake just south of the airport. So for those that live along this line currently, often have a great alternative to driving down to work, whether that's in Seattle or whatever the case is. They can drive to the light rail station and park and take the train down, or bike to the light rail station if they don't have a car. So it is allowing more people to move out into the suburbs and be able to rely on public transportation to get to work if they don't want to drive everywhere. So that is opening up a lot more options. This line is extending in a few different directions. It is going over east, over Lake Washington to the east side, Bellevue and Redmond. Now, part of this line between Bellevue and the Redmond Technology Campus is currently open for service. The rest of the line bringing you from Bellevue over to Seattle should open for service in late 2025. And this East Link extension, which is what it's called, from Seattle to Bellevue to Redmond, there's going to be 10 total stops. So again, this will make commuting between Redmond, Bellevue, and Seattle a lot easier for some people that don't want to have to deal with driving all the time. There's another extension going down south from the current furthest south station, Angle Lake, down to Federal Way. There's going to be 3 stops here. So again, expanding in all directions. It's going to go to West Seattle as well. Probably around 2032 is the projected timeline of when that's done. It'll eventually go further north up to Everett. That's even further down the line. But they will be expanding this light rail more and more. So it gives people who are living in the suburbs or just outside of the major city another option to be able to rely on public transportation. Question number 4, is the weather really bad over there? Is it true from what I see and hear all the time about how much it rains and how crappy the weather is in Seattle? And for me personally, it depends on your perspective. The whole rain thing is overhyped. We get on average 38 inches of rain a year. The national average is 38.1. So we are right there at the national average for the amount of rainfall that we get. We get more cloudy and drizzly light rainy days through the year. In terms of days of sunshine, we get about 152 days of sunshine a year. So that's certainly lower on the list compared to a lot of other places in the US. So that is more of the problem here for people that struggle with kind of that seasonal depression by just having more gray and cloudy days through the year. Now, the trade-off for this is we don't have the extreme temperatures that a lot of other areas have. Our summers are some of the most beautiful in the entire country. They're almost perfect the entire summer. Almost doesn't rain at all, hardly in the summer. It's beautiful. It's mid 70s to low 80s for almost the entire summer. And so it's a very, very good atmosphere to be here during that time of year. In the winters, while we do get a little bit colder because we're located up north, the average daily highs in the coldest months in the winter are in the mid to upper 40s. So we're not struggling in the 20-degree range on a consistent basis or getting pounded by snow. We average under 5 inches of snowfall per year, so snow is not an issue over here. And in general, it's not, I wouldn't say warm in the winter. This isn't California, but it's also not brutal like some other areas that get very, very cold for long stretches. For the most part, it's relatively doable over here. Question number 5 I get is, what is there to do in the Seattle area? Well, I could spend a whole video just answering that question because there is so much to do over here, but I'll summarize it pretty briefly. In terms of outdoors, there's anything you could really wish for as an outdoor enthusiast. You can't really be anywhere better than the Pacific Northwest, I would say. We have the Cascade Mountain Ranges on the east side, so if you enjoy mountain activities, whether that's skiing, snowboarding, snowshoeing, tubing, mountain biking, hiking all over the place, all sorts of outdoor recreation when it comes to mountain ranges or hiking type activities. As we move further inland towards Seattle and Bellevue, we've got lakes everywhere. So if you enjoy lake activities, taking the boat out, going wakeboarding, water skiing, just taking the kids to the park right on the lake, which most of these lakes have little swimming areas for the kids to go, or fishing. Any lakeside activities perfect in the summer. As we continue to move further west, we are on the Puget Sound. So any sound activities on the water, taking a boat out, taking a ferry for a little day trip somewhere. There's all sorts of stuff, hanging out at the beach, on the coast somewhere, or on the Puget Sound rather. So there's so much that you can do here when it comes to outdoor recreation in the Pacific Northwest. We also have a ton of great day trips, either day trips or short weekend trips, going over to Eastern Washington, going over to the peninsula, going up to Canada, going down to Oregon if you enjoy Oregon for whatever reason. There's all sorts of stuff you can go within a 2 to 4 hour drive in order to spend a quick weekend away. Outside of those outdoor recreation activities, we've got a bustling and very intense professional sports scene over here with the Seahawks, with the Mariners, with the Sounders, with the Seattle Storm, with University of Washington, football, basketball, their sports. So a big sports enthusiast town, and gives you lots of things to do. There's also a lot of events and concerts and stuff. Being here in a major city and having major stadiums and arenas downtown, there's all sorts of great concerts and whatnot throughout the year. Outside of that, lots of options for eating, for breweries, for coffee shops, for wineries. There's up in Woodinville is Winetown. So if you want to go enjoy some wineries, that's a great option. There's all sorts of things that you can do here 12 months out of the year. No shortage of activities. Question number 6 I get all the time is, what job industries are over here? So Seattle is well known, of course, for being a tech scene. Outside of Silicon Valley, we might be spot number 2. I don't know, maybe New York is, but we are a major tech player. Of course, Microsoft headquarters are here. Amazon headquarters are here. You have TikTok offices, Apple offices, GoDaddy offices, Google, Meta, I'm just naming a few. There's a ton more when it comes to the tech scene here in the Seattle area. Again, not many places you can go for a better tech opportunities. But outside of that, tech gets all the attention. We have some other really great industries here. We have aerospace. So of course, Boeing is located here. We also have Blue Origin, and we have SpaceX offices in Redmond. We also have a ton of healthcare and biotech companies. So there's a number of biotech companies nearby in Seattle and Bellevue, and then a ton of great healthcare jobs here. We are one of the leading areas for medical research, whether that's University of Washington Medicine or one of the other outlets for cancer research institutes. There's all sorts of great healthcare opportunities here in the greater Seattle area. And of course, education opportunities. We have multiple universities here in the Seattle area, whether that's University of Washington, Seattle Pacific University, Seattle University, University Puget Sound, and many other colleges throughout the greater Seattle area. There's a ton of options. And of course, we're located right on the Puget Sound, so the maritime industry has a number of great jobs as well. And of course, finance jobs, engineering jobs, manufacturing jobs, all sorts of great job industries here in the greater Seattle area. All right, the last point, question number 7 is it expensive to live here? So this depends where you're coming from. If you're coming from California, probably not. It's probably cheaper than what you're used to. Same with coming from New York, maybe Boston, maybe some of these other major hubs. Seattle may not be as expensive. If you're coming from 90% of the US, 85-90% of the US, it probably is more expensive than what you're used to. Now, there's a few different things that'll factor into this, of course. We talked briefly about the home prices earlier in this video. Average median home price in Seattle metropolitan as a whole is $770,000. Now again, it depends where you end up. If you want to be in Seattle, it's $950,000. If you want to be on the east side, Kirkland, Bellevue, Redmond, Issaquah, Sammamish, you're closer to $1.4 to $1.8 million for that median home price. So it depends exactly where you end up, but those home prices are going to be higher on average because of our job industries over here and being in an area that has one of the highest average salaries in the US. Now, outside of the home prices, taxes is another major thing that factors into people making the decision to move over here. Now, if you weren't aware, in Washington, we don't have state income tax. So especially for a lot of people coming from California that are in the tech industry, and they can make a very similar wage or salary here in Seattle than they could in the Bay Area or the LA area, they can come here to Seattle and not have state income tax. Whether they're paying 10 to 13% in California, now there's 0% in state income tax. Outside of state income tax, we have one of the higher sales taxes in the nation for sure. You're gonna be hovering right around 10% for that sales tax, depending where exactly in Seattle Metro you are. And then property taxes is that other factor. There's a bunch of levies and stuff that factor in, but in general, those property taxes are gonna be anywhere from 0.75 to 1% of that market value of that home. Most often it's well under 1%, closer to 0.75%, again, of that market value of the home. And so the property taxes in terms of a percentage of the home price are not very expensive. We have higher home prices here. So in general, the property taxes, I'm sure, are higher than most of the country because of our median home prices. All right, well, those are really the 7 main questions that people ask and are considering when they're deciding if a move to Seattle makes sense for them. Like I said, I'm happy to go through these with you and help you figure out if this is the right area for you to move to, whether it's right in Seattle proper or it's in one of the outlying suburbs in the metropolitan area. I'm happy to go through these things with you and figure out if the lifestyle you're looking for can be supported in an area over here. As always, you can reach out to me down below in the description. You can book a call with me on my calendar, fill out the form for me to reach out to you, or just reach out directly to my contact info down below. Look forward to hearing from you if you are somebody looking to move over here. Thanks for watching this one. See you on the next one.